A huge victory for Brexit and Brexiteers as the European Union finally backed down on their idiotic ban on food imports. So, as you know, Boris Johnson decided to introduce this new internal market bill in Parliament, which people say it's going to break international law. In reality, it's just there to be used as a deterrent in case the EU break their obligations when it comes to the treaty, so that we could keep our country, a united kingdom, because otherwise, without a deal, thanks to the withdrawal agreement, Northern Ireland will be slightly separated when it comes to the union. So the EU and Michel Barnier have finally backed down and have publicly said that, okay, fine, don't worry, we're not going to divide Northern Ireland and with the rest of the country. So the EU has now told the UK they will not block the food imports after the Brexit transition has ended. This is according to Michel Barnier himself and his team. We also have a statement from the European Commission. Now, the reality is that obviously this Brexit row started because of the potential trade between Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK. If anything comes from England, will have to be checked by the European Union basically by the Irish Sea, because it could be sent to the Republic of Ireland. Oh, that's so bad. Sending food to Ireland. Don't do it, guys. But according to Huffington Post, Michel Barnier has now told the UK negotiators, this is last week, that it would have no issue getting the so-called third country listing, that it gives the right to automatically export food to the EU after the transition ends at the end of this year. So this third country listing is for countries that are not members of the EU. There's obviously still a list of essentially preferred suppliers that could still trade or send their products, especially food, to the European Union. Their issue is that they can't just randomly put countries on that list because the EU have these standards and regulations, and they're worried about American chicken, for example, coming into Ireland. But in reality, there's no problem because until now the UK have had the same standards and regulations as the European Union because we were members. And the UK government have said that we are keeping those standards anyway. It's not like we're going to go crazy. So what's the point of playing politics with this whole thing? And obviously Michel Barnier has finally realised that there's no need to do that because they are desperate for a deal with Britain. Now, this is Daniel Ferry, who's a spokesperson from the European Commission. The European Union, or the flag of the European Union, is not threatening food supply to Northern Ireland. We are committed to the faithful implementation of the protocol. EU rules will continue to apply to food imports into Northern Ireland. This avoids a hard border on the island of Ireland. The UK agreed to this. Good, done. Can we move on now? Because without a deal, the UK have said we're not going to put up a border. The Northern Irish Assembly have said that they're not going to put up a border. The Republic of Ireland have said they're not going to put up a border. So you'll be forced to put up a border as the Commission? Who are you to decide? So it's good that they've finally given up because it's getting kind of childish, the whole thing. So a Whitehall source has said that it's welcome that the EU have come to their senses and backed down under threats which would have amounted to a blockade of British food. Withholding listing for the UK would have been an extraordinary step when they allow exports from dozens of countries around the world. It shows that the EU's threat didn't stem from a genuine policy concern, but was simply a politicisation of the process. Now, the UK government has also said that the EU has now said to us that normal processes will be followed on third country listings. So there are no obstacles to listing our food and agricultural products, as our food standards rules will be exactly the same as the EU's. So, guys, can we move on now? Hopefully? Yeah, it's fine because we do have a number of questions also today from the members of the channel on a number of issues. Let's go to the first question from David John. Maya, there are many Tory voters, like myself, dismayed at the government's woeful performance. To clarify, it has been a terrible performance except for Brexit. Although next election is a few years away, Labour are now ahead in the polls. Do you think Boris should step aside after the Brexit is completed? And then we do have a reply to it. Best things if everyone votes for the Brexit party next election. So, firstly, David, these sort of things happen all the time. Like when David Cameron and George Osborne were first in government, the first 2-3 years been chaotic because they had to deal with the budget. They were behind the opinion polls, and they had the patsy tax. Everyone was saying this government is falling. Theresa May, same problem, different timing. It's just the beginning of Parliament. Boris technically still has time to change course. He's struggling because of what's happening right now with the lockdown policies. With everything else is actually not bad. And also immigration, illegal migration. He needs to step up his game as well. But there's no need for him to completely resign. We are holding him to account. He needs to be scrutinised, his government. But there's no need to panic. The problem with the voting for the Brexit party, I fully understand when people get tired of politicians or parties saying nice things but they don't deliver. Same applies to every other party. The same applies to the Brexit party. How do you know that the Brexit party will be better? Because they say nice things? Well, that's what Boris did. That's the dilemma with politics. If we are going with what politicians are promising or what they try to do with their words, then they've all said the right things anyway. But that's the whole problem. Who are you going to vote for? Well, we'll have to wait. We have 4 years left. If the Boris Johnson's government are absolutely terrible by the next election, then obviously people are going to vote for a different party. Could be anything. Could be the Lib Dems. Could be the Greens. But at this point, there is still time. We'll have to see what he's actually going to be doing. Stu says, hello Maya. After the recent revelation about Sir Patrick Vallance, and his shares in GSK, do you think he will resign his position as scientific advisor for Boris, or Boris Johnson will do the right thing and sack him because of the clear conflict of interests? Nope, not gonna happen. Simply because there is not enough pressure in the media. The mainstream media only subtly mentioned it and moved on. The only way that there will be appetite for him to resign or for Boris Johnson to sack him, same applies to anything really, is if there is enough media pressure, but also in terms of the timing. Sometimes it doesn't work. The Dominic Cummings saga, Dominic is still there. So it really depends. Obviously, if there is a definite conflict of interest, which in this case seems to be, it's not right for Sir Patrick Vallance to be in his job, or at least explain his situation, justify what is happening. So I don't think he's going to resign anytime soon, unless there's an excuse. They'll be like, oh, I have to leave now, family issues. Next question is Andy. Hi Maya. Can another government, if they get in, rejoin the silly EU when we totally leave? Well, on paper, yes. In reality, no, because they have to reapply, and the EU rules are now quite public. They state that any new member to join or rejoin, you have to go through a specific sort of process, which is you have to join Schengen, you have to join the Eurozone and have Euro as your currency, and a number of other issues as well, harmonizing everything, including a financial sector. So if any party or any government stand on that manifesto, firstly, they're not going to win. If any party or government decides to lie and then do it randomly, yeah, they have to deal with the people on the streets. So don't see that really happening at this point. David says, hello Maya, glad to see you looking well. Thank you. Do you have any new insider knowledge regarding the change in law, international law, that Priti Patel was pursuing in order to deal with the illegal migrants landing on our shores? Yes, David. So the latest we have is that obviously the Home Office and Priti and the number of other departments are drafting this kind of the whole situation, the documents to do that. There's a process to actually change international law. It's not that quick, but how slow is slow? That's my question. They have clarified a number of times, including today, in the House of Commons, that they are on it. They are making the changes. Whether it will take until December or beforehand, we don't know, because the government and civil servants are so busy and distracted with imposing their lockdown policies that they're not really doing anything else at this point. We were saying the same thing about when they were dealing with Brexit a few years ago. They weren't doing anything else. But we will keep you guys posted on this channel, David. Craig says, "Hi Maya, how are you now after your recent hospital visit?" I am very well, Craig. Thank you very much, and thanks for everyone. Thanks everyone for asking. Recently, I'm doing really well. It's fine. Not a big deal. I've just joined your group as a supporter. Thank you, Craig. Welcome to the membership club. Keep up the good work. I believe Sunak will replace Boris in the next 6 to 12 months. What do you think will happen to Boris? Yeah, I tend to stay away from predictions and speculations in politics because things change so quickly all the time that all the people who've been making predictions since 2016, none of it happened. So whether it was with the withdrawal agreement, the sort of deal, whether it was a couple of weeks ago with Boris and David Frost and Barnier, and how long the lockdown will last, when will Theresa leave? Theresa May, she was supposed to leave like decades ago, but took her a while. I tend not to make any speculations because he could have a comeback, he could recover. Also, if he goes, it's not going to be Rishi. The Tory party doesn't operate that way. The front runner hardly ever wins. It's quite difficult at this point to actually guess. But thanks again, everyone, for sending your questions, the members of the channel. If you guys are not members, you want to support the channel and get some extra perks, including Q&As and other things that we do, weekly video podcasts, and a discount for our merchandise, We Are The Media, then check out the link in the description or just go on youtube.com/myitc/join, and we'll see you guys on the other side. I'm myitc, and I'll see you in the next video.